got lots of cell phone notes. Yeah. You like a concert? Yeah, I like too.
I'm Amy. Can you tell me your name?
I'm Joe Smithson.
Title?
The Brent Smith's Design League for Ohio.
Gotcha. Okay, so that actually is your responsibility. How long have you been with ODOT?
I've been with ODOT since 2005, so 18 years.
Wow, that's a while. Can you tell us kind of how did you get started there?
I was a consultant for a number of years, and there was an opening in the departments as a geotechnical engineer, so I switched over from the dark side, so to speak, of the consulting world, and I've been with ODOT ever since.
Cool. Are you getting your sound okay?
Yep.
Can you tell us, like, where did you get your degree? Where did you graduate?
So I got my bachelor's and my master's degree from the University of Cincinnati.
Oh, so you're Bearcat.
Yeah, Bearcat.
So you're kind of back home for a little while.
Yeah.
Are you live here?
I'm a local. Yeah, I'm a local product. Yeah, I grew up in the area.
Gotcha. So we're just kind of, I think they've all kind of gone over what we're doing today, but just looking for some videos, kind of put some faces to the names and kind of help the public realize that these are just real people back here doing this job. It's not the faceless government.
Right.
It's doing their jobs the same way they did. Tell us a little bit what it's like working for one of the biggest infrastructure projects in the country.
It's exciting. You know, you get the impact is so big for this project. You know, it's a one of a kind, once in a lifetime project. So it's very exciting for us. A lot of us, myself in particular, have been working on the project since back in 2005 when we started the early environmental stuff. That's about when I came to ODOT. So this project's been around in our district since then, and to see it come to fruition and actually be an integral part of it for me is a great thing.
So can I ask him to do that one more time? And this time when you say the project, say the Brent Spence Bridge project or the Brent Spence Corridor project.
Okay.
Awesome. You're cool. You're cool. Just answer that one more time.
Can you also hold the mic a little bit closer?
He's going to cut all kinds of stuff. So
Okay. So
Yeah, you're good. You're
all right.
Your answer was
Yeah, ask me
great.
the question again.
All
So
right. Tell us what it's like working for one of the biggest infrastructure projects in the country right now.
It's very exciting. The project's, sorry.
You're good. You're
It's
good.
very, in the most,
Start with just I don't know what the words are, but the feeder. So if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
I would probably be in the medical field of some sort. That's my other kind of side interest in things.
Doctor or?
Yeah, some kind of doctor of some sort. Or orthopedic, sports kind of thing. Yeah.
What do you like most about your job?
I like the variety. Not only on this particular project, the Brent Spence, but day to day that I've worked at ODOT since 2005, every project's different, from the smallest culvert project to these big interchange projects. There's a lot of variety and there's a lot of different challenges.
Tell us, bring it back to the beginning. Tell us what part of the project you're focusing most on right now.
My focus is on the design aspect of the projects, coordinating all the different design structures, maintenance of traffic, ITS, all the different aspects will be coordinated for the Ohio side plan.
What's one thing, if you were just talking to the general public right now, what is one thing you want to make sure they understand?
Be patient, because there are going to be impacts, right? I mean, it is a big project, and we're going to do the best we can to minimize those impacts, to keep traffic moving. But there are going to be impacts, and like everybody else, we want to get the project done as soon as possible. So we're working as diligently as possible to get through the design phase, so we can get in the construction activities.
And you're going to be driving those roads too, with impacts.
Yes.
Are going to affect your community, your ability to go places.
That's correct. Yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything else?
Anything else you can think of that we haven't?
Oh, I do. What's one thing that somebody that you would be surprised to hear about you? Cool hobbies?
So one of my favorite things to do is to go to rock concerts, and specifically rock festival concerts, and be down in the pit and be in with all the crazy people.
Like who?
Shine Down, Five Finger Death Punch, a lot of the like hard rock bands. So
you're like the mosh pit guy.
I like to be down in the trenches, so to speak. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And nobody would think that from my personality at work, especially.
That's fun. You think we're good?
I think we're good.
All right. Perfect.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe. Hang on, we're just getting you in focus.
And you can do all this stuff if you're ever just listening live. It takes some kind of all.
It's going to all end up on the production.
Oh, we're
So
so
good.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. 4-second sound bites. Don't you? My head shine. Okay, you gotta be careful about that. I got a lot of shiny billboard forehead.
No, we were talking like
big boy voice?
Please.
My big boy voice? Yeah, outside voice?
It should be different. If it won't, he'll tell me and I'll do where he needs to go. All right, you ready?
Sure.
Can you introduce yourself, give us your name and title, what you're working on, and kind of just how you got here?
Sure. So my name is Campbell, and I'm the construction lead for the Pendleton project for Ohio. And
Tell us, like, how long have you been with
oh,
ODOT?
sure. So I've got kind of a diverse career for ODOT. So I started with 10 years in the private industry, so I was a contractor for 10 years. Which is a little unique for ODOT workers. I've been at ODOT for about 20 years. I've had various roles, all in construction, and mostly training around bridges.
So what is your background? Where did you go to school? What did you do?
Sure. So I have an undergraduate degree in civil engineering from UC, so I'm a Bearcat. Local homegrown talent. Lived in the Dayton, Cincinnati area my entire life. I also have a master's in business administration degree from Wright State University, another local university.
Tell us a little bit about how is this project important to you? What does this project mean to you as somebody who does live here? Sorry.
So it's a massive undertaking.
Start with this project.
Oh, I'm sorry. So the Bracken corridor project is just a massive project. It's a project that I've been interested in for probably 15 years. I've moved around a little bit within ODOT to different districts and central office, and every boss that I've had since then, every time I start my new job, I tell them, if the Bracken project grows legs, I'll be leaving. Right? So I've given a forewarning for 15 years, and just it's come to fruition. It's the right place at the right time, right skill set, I guess, and just very excited about the project. Now I will say the project being as massive as it is, it's I would say it's exciting and ominous, right? I think it's both. There's really a fine line between excitement and fear, and I probably live on both sides of that line in the same day.
What are you most excited about?
I'm just most excited about again, I'm a bridge guy, and so big bridge projects like the Pendleton Bridge Corridor, it just doesn't happen very often. It's like once in a lifetime. And so just to be at the right place with the right experience level and the passion to do the project, just like I said, I've been waiting so long for it, and now it's been up and down. It's been around for 20 years probably. It's been on the cusp of being built several times, and finally through the bipartisan act and the IGA funds, and then now we got the ability to build the bridge, and our partnership with Kentucky has been outstanding. We've just been very fortunate to have both sides of the river be excited and willing to put the necessary resources, whether that be personnel or finances, to get this project finally complete.
Tell us, what's your role within the project and what are you working on right now?
Sure, so I'm the construction lead for Ohio, so I'll be in charge of the administration of all the construction activities once we get to that point in the project. I'll also be involved in the innovation phase, which is what we're getting ready to enter into now. So the innovation phase is very unique for the progressive design build model that we've used for procurement for this project, because it allows the agencies, the design build team, and local stakeholders to both develop and validate the base design for the project that will eventually go into final design and into construction ultimately.
Tell us, just if you were talking to the general public, what's one thing you would want to make sure that they understood from your perspective?
Sure. I would like the public to understand that it's a massive project. It has lots of moving parts in a very tight footprint. So what we always ask is that they would treat our work zones like their residential streets. Pay attention, drive slow, but also use the resources that we're going to provide them to educate themselves on future and current traffic impacts.
Cool. Tell us just one last thing. Tell us something that people might be surprised to find out about you.
What you'll be surprised about me probably is I'm a little bit of an endurance junkie. So it's not so much about, I don't see how fast I can go or do things. It's all about how far I can push myself. I like the challenges of endurance events. So whether that be physical and mental or even spiritual. So, to that end, I've done three full Ironmans. I've ran up top Pikes Peak at 14,000 feet. I've ran 50 miles on the Appalachian Trail. And I'm sure I'll do something else next year.
Very cool. Any further questions?
One last question I got for you. So you said you're from this area. How proud of this project and to be a part of this project are you, knowing that you've been in this area for so long?
Sure. So as a homegrown talent, a hometown boy, going to UC for all those years, certainly this is huge for me. It's not only huge for me personally, but anytime you build a project like this at this magnitude, just to think about the future generations as well as like my own kids, I love nothing more than to think about my kids driving over that bridge and my grandkids driving over that bridge for generations to come.
Tell us, you have to tell us where you went to high school. You're going to tell us where you went to high school since you're from there.
I went to Beaver Creek High School, which is up there.
Never mind.
I'm not sad.
It was a good idea.
Awesome. All right,
She's hoping to plug something local.
We're going to get a still photo of you.
Thanks, Scott.
We're going to have James do that with you. You're going to get a
Take a minute off, please.
Yeah, we'll take the mic up. And you can mic up your next.
Yeah.
Victim. Tommy, are you next?
Sure. Well, we got the old face.
Yeah, there you go. I like that side of it.
Yeah, I was in the mirror today. I was like, what's the right angle so my glasses don't look like I have two heads? I was like, oh no, there's no angle.
There's an angle.
It's bad all the way.
It's a 6 angle and it doesn't show my forehead.
Yeah.
There isn't one.
We get way out of your way.
I can move it.
Oh, whatever.
It's not quite fair.
Whatever. We were on the same international man mystery over here. 3 minutes. Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, of course you can't really see.
It's just targets.
Okay.
You used to powder your nose or anything like that?
Probably. You tell me.
Put your lipstick back on you. Fix your eyeliner.
Are my glasses
Put your pancake
bad?
makeup. Go.
No,
I tried to
glasses
clean
are
those
good.
off. Okay.
You look good.
I'm gonna move the American flag over to my punch.
I'm talking about the flags.
Is this okay with my, seriously, like my glasses? Or
Glasses,
anything
yeah, I
like
don't
that?
see a glare. Do you?
Okay. Cool.
All right, you ready? Tell him how he needs to repeat questions for you.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
When I ask you a question, remember to just kind of repeat it back to me. So if I say, you know, what part of the project are you working on right now? Like I'll say, part of the project that I'm working on right now is da-da-da-da.
Okay.
And we're also trying to just name the project, not ad nauseum, but just remember to, at least on the first mention, to say Bracken Bridge Corridor Project, because it's not a mouthful.
Yeah, right. No, it just rolls right off.
It's not totally unnatural.
Is this on to Owen? Yep.
Yep, we're good.
All right, ready?
Yep.
All right, can you give us just a little introduction, your name, your title, kind of how you got into this job, where you went to school, just the really easy stuff.
Okay, sure. I'll give you an introduction with my name, title, went to school,
Yes, those
all that
things.
easy kind of stuff. Okay, so my name is Tommy Arnold. I went to the University of Dayton. Been a Cincinnati resident my whole life, kind of a Cincy homer. And that's really how I ended up on this project. When it really became clear that we were moving forward and there was an opportunity, I jumped at it. Wanted to really be a part of this amazing project and capitalize on all the awesome work that my coworkers have put into I-75 up and down the corridor, and this really is that last piece of it. So I was excited to be a part of that. I've been with ODOT for 20 years. So again, been around, been watching this project from afar, since it started back in 04, 05, and just very excited for the opportunity to be a part of it now moving forward. Time is, that's how it goes.
It's the ginger.
Yes, it'll be white by the end, I'm sure.
Where did you go to high school? I can ask you that.
High school, I went to St. Xavier High School. Go
There we go.
Bombers. Yeah, last century. Graduated in 99.
So tell us a little bit, what is it like working on one of the largest infrastructure projects in the country?
Well, it's definitely an adventure. I've heard some of my coworkers say it's exciting. It's all of those things. And I've mentioned it's a huge opportunity, but just every day is different when you're working on a mega project like this. And that is one of the things that drives me. I'm kind of a people person too. My previous role, I was the planning engineer for the department. So I loved forging relationships across Southwest Ohio. And this project has all of that, but in this compact corridor. So very thankful to work with the city of Cincinnati, with Hamilton County, all of our local partners, including area businesses and residents that just want to learn more. So I'm all about that. This is the chance to make those connections on the project.
What does a project manager do on a project like this? What's your responsibility?
Yeah, I mean, the boring answer to that is track the scope, schedule, and budget. And this project has those three things, you know, in a magnified way compared to any other project. So, you know, we really have a hard budget. The $3.6 billion is a huge number for us to tackle. It's much more than our annual capital program in Ohio. So managing that budget is really important. You know, keeping us on task. It's very important to the community, to the project, to the state of Ohio, and the Commonwealth of Kentucky that we get this project done on time. Disruption to traffic are something we don't take lightly. So we want to make sure we're in, do the work we need to do, and keep it moving. So those are all things that are important to me. What I do on a day-to-day basis is sort of help make those connections on the project level. Really fortunate that Ohio and Kentucky are working together so closely at every level, from the governor down to the director and secretary, down to our staff here on the project. So that's part of my role too, is just to keep us collaborating on the same page. There's so much to track, so many activities ongoing all the time. So making sure we're making progress towards those big goals, getting this project done for our region.
So what do you focus on most right now in this phase of the project?
You know, right now, we're in a little bit of a transition. So our previous project manager, Stephenson, is moving back into his role of capital program administrator, as overseeing all of planning, engineering, and construction in Southwest Ohio, and I'm transitioning in. So I've been focused a lot on the funding, helping to get funding in place, working with local partners, answering public comments that come in, like Bridge Forward, other innovations that are coming from our partners, and public engagement as well. One thing that I want to make sure is clear too, one of my loves and passions on this project is making sure that we make the most of this in terms of DBE, or disadvantaged business engagement, and workforce development. That is another huge reason I'm on this project. I was a project manager for I-71 and Martin Luther King Jr. Interchange, and that was a very exciting project to be on. Learned a lot through that, and want to take those lessons learned and make sure we're hitting the ground running and making the most of those opportunities on this project now. So that's something I'm very passionate about.
If you could tell the public one thing from your perspective that you'd like them to know, what would that be?
Yes, so one thing, and I forgot to repeat all the questions. So one thing that I think the public needs to know, or we want them to know, is that this is a huge opportunity for the region in terms of getting into the construction industry, or if you're in the construction industry and want to start a small business, you know, these are the great times to do both of those things. Not only is the Brent Spence a huge project, going to be around for a few years, so it's a great project to learn on, but there's also our regular program going on across the state, and private development too. So it's an absolute excellent time to get into the construction career, construction industry, start your career there. High-paying jobs can be generational wealth for your family if you're just starting out. So an excellent time to come in.
So as a local, what are you most excited about working on this project?
One quick second. Will
Yeah.
you look up here? Look like right here when you're answering the questions. Your head is just tilted down a little bit.
Sure.
Like he's on me right now.
And
Yeah.
it's because, I'm sorry, she's just a little shorter.
Yeah.
You don't have to act like she's 7
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah.
But just
Yeah.
look
Do we need
like,
to start over?
no.
Okay.
Just look like you're, look right
Look
here.
over my
Just
head.
above her
I
head.
won't look at you, and that'll help.
Yeah.
I'll look at my
And
shoes.
that's like perfect.
Okay.
If you look at like she's eye level with you.
Okay.
Oh, as a local, what are you most excited about working on this project? What are you most looking forward to?
Okay, so what am I most looking forward to as a local on this project? I always say the Brent Spence is that one place where you can get stuck in traffic, even coming home from vacation. You know, you're coming back on a Sunday from Florida, and you're stuck in this one spot, and everybody knows Brent Spence. So I am very excited for the chance to clear up that congestion. And you know, there's also that white knuckle moment when you're driving across the bridge, because it's so narrow right now. The lanes are narrow, shoulders are narrow, and that's because we restriped it in 1985. So we've had a Band-Aid on the project since then, and very excited to clean that up for friends, family, business, all of the users, the hundreds of thousands of people that go across the bridge every single day.
Tell us one thing that is unique about you. Something people would be surprised to find out.
You know, I don't know if it's unique, but I have 3 little kids, and so, you know, they're my passion. My wife and I spend, you know, obviously all of our time with them, and really excited to be starting school again now, and soccer and all those exciting things. Maybe just one personal thing is I love music, so I play guitar and piano, been in bands and stuff throughout the years.
What good concerts have you seen tonight?
Good concerts? You know, in the last couple of years, my favorite was Tears for Fears came back. They kicked off their world tour here in Cincinnati. That was sweet. We actually took the kids to it, so that was very cool. And then saw Robert Plant and Alison Krauss down in Louisville recently, which was, again, amazing to see a legend. Two legends.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Okay.
Take my list.
Very cool. Now
All
we're
right.
gonna get stills. You can
Okay.
take your mic off.
Okay.
And James will come around to this side. And or you can do it from that side, sorry. Because I liked the angle that you were getting, so we have lots of cropping options.
Yeah.
So you got some longer ones and you got some tighter ones. That's perfect.
Double check that before you walk off.
Now I'm officially sweating.
I know, yeah. And I think
Here, do you want me to? James, do you want me to?
All right, I'm gonna go up.
You want to scoot it back a little?
Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good.
I trust you're from
See
Kentucky.
him where Tommy was.
love it. Okay. And action.
All right. Can you just introduce yourself? Tell us your name, your title, kind of how long you've been with
Hold on a
the
second.
cabinet.
Wait a second. It's
They really need their
Bring your alibis. You got another hour.
You're going through every question on that list today?
Mine. I might have some more too.
Okay. Like, what did I write for that?
You won't.
good.
I just think the sound bites. Okay. I'll go find Jennifer. How long you've been with the cabinet, kind of where you went to school, just the basics.
Oh, sure, yeah. So my name is Nikki Bowden. I've been with the cabinet for 13 years, total in the industry 18 years. I was a consultant for 5.5 years. I got my civil engineering degree at the University of Kentucky and my MBA here in Cincinnati at Xavier. So I've mainly been in project development, design. I also spent 5 years in the utilities section, so I have a utility specialty that I bring to the Brent Spence team. But most of my time has been spent in project development.
This was my wildcat in last week.
Aw, that's so sad and exciting. She'll love it though.
She is. She's
Gonna love it.
having a good time. Tell us what it's like working on one of the largest infrastructure projects in the country.
But it's very exciting. You know, there's all of this like electric charge that's getting ready to spark. So very exciting, a bit overwhelming. You know, we're all excited, we're ready to get started, but we're really working hard to get everything set up here ahead of the project so that things will run smoothly as we get into the actual details. One of the things I'm most excited about to work on this project is we have all of these experts from all across the country coming in, and we all get to bring our skill sets to the team in this massively collaborative environment and really work to make the best product that we can at the end of the day for Cincinnati. Kentucky.
I forgot to remind you, when I ask you the question, just kind of repeat it back to me a little bit. Like you might say, if I say, you know, what's your role on the project? You would say, my role on the project is.
Okay.
So just because they're going to cut, I'm not going to be on this, they're going to cut me out.
Okay.
I'm not gonna, my voice isn't going to be there. The other part too is just here and there, I mean, not so it's obnoxious, but just spell the project out. It's the Brent Spence Bridge Corridor Project, or just the Brent Spence Bridge Project. So
Okay.
I mean, it really rolls off the tongue. It's very
And we've been using all
natural
of our acronyms
to say that we use them too.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, just to say here and there, like I said, not to, you know, it's nobody would continue to use all those words.
Okay.
But it helps have it in your kids. Okay. Tell us kind of what made you go into this field, into engineering?
Oh, as a child, I really liked math and science. Those were my two favorite subjects. And at the time, I really didn't know what you could do with that other than become a teacher or work in a science lab. I had a wonderful guidance counselor that shared with me the scholarship program that the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet offers. And it was an avenue for me to look into civil engineering. I had a grandfather that was a structural engineer and built bridges across the nation. And didn't know him, he passed when I was young, but it was something that was in my family, so I pursued that scholarship and loved it from the start down at UK. So I've been very happy with my career thus far. It's something that every day coming in we have new problems to solve, and I thrive in that environment.
Tell us about being a woman in engineering.
It's gaining momentum. We're getting more and more of us friendly faces. It is interesting, when I was going through undergrad, the first 3 years, maybe one of 2 or 3 in my class that was in engineering. By my last semester, I was actually in a water resource class that had 1 or 2 males in the class versus females. So it's been really exciting to see that grow. I think as a female engineer, we bring a different perspective, and we look at things holistically a bit more, and I think that's definitely something that the engineering industry is going to benefit from.
What advice would you have for a young girl who is considering going into this field?
I would say go for it full force. Definitely, if that's what you're interested in.
Start. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
start with my advice for it. My advice
Okay.
for a young woman or a
Okay.
girl. Just start with that.
Okay. My advice for a young engineer or young woman looking to go into engineering is to jump right in with both feet. You know, find yourself some good mentors, male or female, that can help direct you and guide you as you get through, because there's many facets of engineering that you can get into. Just find the one that speaks to you the most. Find the one that interests you. It is a lot of hard work, so you're definitely going to have to dig in and do the extra work, but it's a very, very wonderful career that gives a lot back.
Tell us kind of what's your role within the project? What exactly is your job on this project?
My role on the Bracken Bridge project is the design lead for KYTC for the Kentucky side.
Tell us kind of what are you focusing on right now in this phase of the project?
Right now we're really focused on the innovation phase that's coming up, a lot of setting up all of the contracting and all of the behind the scenes that we need to do on our side and internally at KYTC so that we can run through the innovation period smoothly. I'm very excited for the Bracken Bridge team to start bringing all these ideas to the table and really hashing out and getting to the weeds of those to see which of those innovations are going to come to the surface that we're going to move forward with.
Tell us, if you were just talking to the general public, what is one thing you would like them to understand about this project?
I've had a lot of questions about this project from general public, parents at school, parents on the soccer field, and one thing I want them to know is just that how excited the team is and the professionals that are working on this project. We're all going to give our best for the project, and overall we're going to need a lot of patience, we're going to need a lot of understanding, and I think we're going to do a good job of providing knowledge to the public so they know each of the steps that we're going through, and that we'll kind of bring them along this journey with us.
Tell us something that's kind of unique about you, something that you will be kind of surprised to hear. Anything like that.
I have 3 young kids. We're a big FCC family that we love to go and cheer on our Lions here in town. I play a lot of sports. I still play sand volleyball and get out and do that. And we're a foodie family, so I love introducing flavors to my kids and new foods. So new restaurants and things we always like to check out.
What's your family favorite right now?
My son calls it Pokemon food is our family favorite food right now. Anything meat, veggies, and rice. It could be curry, it could be Thai, it could be any of those.
What's your favorite restaurant?
Sushi. They love sushi. We just did a revolving sushi restaurant that they loved.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you. You take that off and we'll get some stills of you. So you go back to where you were standing. Yeah.
24 minutes on
I gotta speed it up.
Oh, no, you're fine. I only have one more, so.
Oh, no, all right. Who we got
I'm
left?
sorry. There it is.
Here we go.
Who's the last one?
Thank you.
Corey.
Corey of Corey Construction.
Yep.
Here?
Thank
Where do you
you.
want? Looking at you?
Yes.
Okay.
No, 3 and 2. So I think I saw a video camera on the mats up there.
Does he got him? Okay. Tell us your name, your title, how long you've been with the cabinet, just kind of where'd you come from? What's your background?
I'm Corey Wilson. I've been with the cab. Let's try that again.
You're good. It takes you.
What was your list again?
Just like name, title,
Okay.
how long you've been at the cabinet, where'd you go to school, just the basics. We're not
All right.
going to use this part proper, but just to get you warmed up.
Okay. I'm Corey Wilson. I'm the KYTC construction lead for the Bracken Bridge project. I've been with the cabinet for 15 years now. I went to school at the University of Kentucky. Got a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. I'm originally from Butler, Kentucky, so a little south of here.
Just before we get started, just remember here and there, just kind of call up the entire project name. Even though it's about the Bracken Bridge Corridor project.
All right, good luck.
Not all the time, because that's really obnoxious, but just here and there. And just remember when I ask you a question, to repeat my question back to me. So when I say, like, what's your role on the project, you say my role on the project is, because they're going to cut me out.
Make sure you hold the mic closer.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
All right. Tell us what it's like working on one of the biggest infrastructure projects in the country right now.
So it's definitely a huge honor to be a part of the project. It's very exciting to be a part of a project that's going to have such a positive impact on our area, people and freight and everything into and around the area. Obviously there's a lot of attention on the project, so it's really cool to see the interest in our community and in the entire area.
What's your role on the project? What is your job?
So my role on the project is the KYTC construction lead. So right now I'm involved in helping to set up the parameters of how we're working with the design build team, and reviewing submittals and just being involved in the design process. But when we get started with construction, we'll lead the construction teams on the Kentucky side.
Tell us kind of what other projects have you worked on? What have you done in the past with the cabinet or in general?
So recently I was on the Bracken Bridge emergency repair project in 2020, and I also led the 2021 Bracken Bridge painting project.
What are you focused on right now within the project? Like what are you getting together right now?
So right now, there's just a lot of getting to know each other as far as the project team goes. Learning everyone's roles, and also just setting expectations for everybody's role on the team. And so we're working together with the design build team to really lay the groundwork for the construction project.
What are you excited about going forward?
Just tap your
Yeah.
forehead right there.
It's
Just a little
sweaty.
bit shiny on the
I know.
pressure.
It's warm in here.
Yeah.
Don't blame the light now.
That's a huge light.
We can powder you if you need it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Somebody will. We can put your lipstick on. Yeah. So tell us what you're excited about. What are you looking forward to with this project?
So I mean, it's a unique project. Oh yes.
I'm excited about this part of the Bracken Bridge Corridor project.
So I'm really excited to work with such a talented team. Everybody I've met is like I said, super talented and super excited about being a part of the project. And so I'm excited to get into the project and start solving challenges or dealing with challenges on the project and solving problems on the project. So really excited about that.
Tell us, if you could tell just the public one thing and help them to understand that going forward, what would that be?
If I could tell the public one thing, it would just, if I could ask the public one thing, I guess it would be to be patient with us during construction and understand that, our goals are the same as far as improving the way traffic moves through the area, improving quality of life, and improving level of service on this corridor.
Tell us something about you that people would be maybe surprised. An unusual hobby, family stuff, just anything you think is kind of fun.
So I guess one thing that people may be surprised to find out, a lot of people think that engineers are nerds that just stay inside with their calculators all the time, but I really like to get outside, be with my family, work on the house, just do things outside, manual labor. I love it.
Where's your favorite hiking spot?
My favorite hiking spot? I really like going to Natural Bridge.
The gorge. All right, pizza, McDonald's.
All right, and that's all right.
You got it. Good.
All right.
Thanks, Corey.
Fabulous. All right, take off your mic. We're gonna just get a couple stills. You will be released
Are we
to
done for
people
video?
to the wild.
Are we done with interviews?
Yeah, we want to be right here.
Yep.
And
That helps.
thank you.
You have a card on you, young man?
A card?
Yeah.
I do not.
Okay, just wondered.
I make it a habit to not use
I had somebody ask me for one the other day, and I was like, no, but I can text you. Give you my number real quick.
Why would you want that?
Let me give you mine here, young man.
You're good.
Young man.
Thank you.
Oh.
Let me check before you move.
You headed out to sweat.
I can try to do my best.
Come on, James.
To finalize the project's design. Opportunities will be available for local communities and agencies to provide feedback as the project finalizes details for items such as traffic management, incident management, aesthetic treatments, streetscapes, landscapes, and gateways.
Mayor Joe
Now that the progressive design build team has been chosen, the project team will begin an innovation process for the Phase 3 contract. During this time, the design build team will identify and evaluate ways to refine or change the project's basic configuration and construction criteria to meet established project goals and objectives, or reduce project costs and schedule. Before making final decisions about proposed innovations, the project team will share recommendations with local agencies and the project advisory committee, and will gather feedback from local agencies that may be affected by any changes. The public will have the opportunity to provide feedback through their local agencies and the project advisory committee. KYTC, ODOT, and the Federal Highway Administration will consider the design build team's technical analysis and local agency feedback before making any final decisions about proposed innovations, and the public will be notified of accepted innovations. Once the innovation process is completed, the project will move forward with design, and construction is expected to begin in early 2024. KYTC and ODOT are currently in the process of evaluating the project's effects on the human and natural environment. The project will need to acquire about 51 acres of additional land called right-of-way to build the Brent-Spence Bridge Corridor project. In addition, the project will require 4 residents and 27 businesses to relocate. The project may also result in noise impacts and may impact the Goebel Park Complex, the Queensgate Playground and Ball Field, the Lewisburg Historic District, and historic Longworth Hall. Potential impacts to wetlands, streams, rivers, floodplains, and threatened and endangered species are also being evaluated by the project team. Short-term traffic, noise, and air quality impacts may also occur while the project is being built, although these impacts would be temporary and would only last until construction is over. KYTC and ODOT have avoided and minimized impacts as much as possible and are developing ways to offset unavoidable impacts. These are called mitigation measures. Some mitigation measures, such as noise walls and improvements to local parks, will be built with the project. Other mitigation measures, such as measures to offset potential impacts to wetlands, streams, and threatened and endangered species, will occur off-site. KYTC and ODOT are developing several project features to provide enhancements to local communities. These include aesthetic treatments, new and improved pedestrian and bicycle connections, additional noise and visual screening walls, separating highway runoff from combined sewers in Kentucky and Ohio to reduce flooding and overflow events, opening up 10 acres of land for potential redevelopment in downtown Cincinnati, and providing increased opportunities for disadvantaged business enterprise participation on the job training and workforce development in the Progressive Design Build contract. As mentioned earlier, environmental approval for the project was received in 2012. Since that time, regulations and site conditions have changed, and KYTC and ODOT have refined the project's design. In 2022, KYTC and ODOT began preparing updates to the 2012 environmental studies to evaluate potential impacts of the project based on these changes. A supplemental environmental assessment is expected to be available for public review later this year, and public hearings will be held in both Kentucky and Ohio. The Federal Highway Administration's final decision for the environmental process is expected to occur in early 2024. This concludes our presentation. Please take some time to review the exhibits available at tonight's open house public meeting and to talk with members of our project team. For more information or to offer feedback, please visit the project website at BrentSpenceBridgeCorridor.com. To the open house project update meeting for the Brent Spence Bridge Corridor project. The purpose of tonight's open house public meeting is to provide details about the Brent Spence Bridge Corridor project. We'll also give updates on where the project currently stands and what's coming next. We're here to answer your questions and to listen to your feedback about the project, which you can do one-on-one with the project team as you look at the information that's available at this open house. In this presentation, we'll give a brief project history and overview of the project's primary features. We'll also introduce the progressive design build process that will be used to deliver nearly 6 miles of the project. Finally, we'll provide an update on the project's environmental process. In 2004, ODOT and KYTC formally began studying ways to improve 7.8 miles of I-71 and I-75 in Kentucky and Ohio. Through a series of preliminary engineering and planning studies, we developed several potential alternatives for improving the corridor. We completed preliminary engineering and evaluated the impacts of each alternative and developed an environmental assessment that compared the benefits and impacts of the alternatives and recommended one alternative, called the selected alternative, to move forward into detailed design and construction. Since 2012, KYTC has been studying ways to improve the design, simplify the construction, reduce costs, reduce impacts, and incorporate additional enhancements into the project. These studies resulted in several refinements to selected alternative I, which we're referring to as Concept IW. Exhibits available at tonight's meeting provide details about Concept IW. The project purpose and need was established early in the project development and has not changed since the 2012 environmental approval. It includes improving traffic flow and level of service, which is a measure of how well traffic moves along the roadway, improving safety, correcting geometric deficiencies such as narrow shoulders, and maintaining connections to key regional and national transportation corridors. In Ohio, the project will add 1 lane in each direction to I-75, remove left exits, and rebuild all bridges and interchanges. A collector distributor system will be added between Ezra Charles Drive and downtown Cincinnati. A collector distributor system is a network of roads alongside a highway that collects traffic exiting from a highway and distributes it to local roadways. It also collects traffic from local roadways and distributes it onto the highway. In the north, the project will tie into the recently completed Mill Creek Expressway Popple Street Interchange project. The project will rebuild the I-75 interchange at the Western Hills Viaduct and tie into the new bridge replacement project being developed by the City of Cincinnati and Pendleton County. A new northbound exit will be built at Ezra Charles Drive to improve access to Union Terminal, TQL Stadium, and over the Rhine. Lastly, the project will connect to I-71 and US 50 East. In Kentucky, the project will reconstruct and widen I-71 and I-75 and rebuild all overpass bridges and interchanges. The project will also extend existing frontage roads connecting 5th Street and Pike Street going northbound and 4th Street and Pike Street going southbound to improve connectivity in Covington. A collector distributor system will also be built beginning northbound at 12th Street to connect interstate traffic to and from the local street network. Lastly, collector distributor lanes will be built from south of Dixie Highway and north of Kyles Lane to reduce the need for traffic to weave between ramps and the through lanes on the interstate. Additional information about collector distributor systems and how through and local traffic will move through the corridor are available for review at this open house public meeting. Between Ohio and Kentucky, the project will build a new double-decker companion bridge with 5 lanes on each deck west of the existing Brent Spence Bridge. The new bridge will carry through interstate traffic across the Ohio River. The existing double-decker Brent Spence Bridge will be rehabilitated and reconfigured to reduce the number of lanes on each deck from 4 to 3 and provide inside and outside shoulders. The existing bridge will carry local traffic only as part of the proposed collector-distributor roadway system described earlier. The exact design of the new companion bridge has not yet been determined. 2 bridge types are being considered to allow the design team to pursue innovative and cost-effective designs to the greatest extent possible. These include an arch bridge and a cable-stayed bridge. The bridge type will be chosen based on a technical analysis by the design build team. Regardless of the type that is ultimately chosen, KYTC and ODOT will work with the design build team to ensure an iconic, aesthetically pleasing bridge is ultimately built. KYTC and ODOT will also continue to coordinate with an aesthetics committee that was established to provide local input on the design and appearance of the Brent Spence Bridge corridor, including the new companion bridge and the existing Brent Spence Bridge. For the bridges, the aesthetics committee will provide feedback on features such as lighting, color, tower or pier texture and color, railings, and other features. This rendering shows what a cable-stayed bridge might look like if that design is chosen. This rendering shows what an arch bridge might look like if that design is chosen. The Brent Spence Bridge Corridor project is going to be built in 3 phases. Phase 1, shown in yellow, will stretch from Finley Street to the north. Phase 2, shown in red, will stretch from Lynn Street to Finley Street. Phase 3, shown in blue, will build everything else, including the new companion bridge. Phase 1 is currently under design with construction expected to begin in 2029. Phase 2 is also under design with construction expected to begin in 2026. Phase 3 will be built under a progressive design build contract, and construction will begin in 2024. Moving forward with the progressive design build process for Phase 3 brings several benefits to the project. For example, the design build team was selected based on qualifications while considering their pricing approach, rather than qualifications and just a fixed or lowest bidder price. This approach helps to minimize uncertainties such as the effects of inflation, supply chains, and availability of materials. Progressive design build also allows the project team to price materials closer to construction, allowing for more accurate cost estimates. KYTC and ODOT will also be able to work collaboratively with the design build team to finalize the project's design. Opportunities will be available for local communities and agencies to provide feedback as the project finalizes details for items such as traffic management, incident management, aesthetic treatments, streetscapes, landscapes, and gateways. Now that the progressive design build team has been chosen, the project team will begin an innovation process for the Phase 3 contract. During this time, the design build team will identify and evaluate ways to refine or change the project's basic configuration and construction criteria to meet established project goals and objectives, or reduce project costs and schedule. Before making final decisions about proposed innovations, the project team will share recommendations with local agencies and the project advisory committee, and will gather feedback from local agencies that may be affected by any changes. The public will have the opportunity to provide feedback through their local agencies and the project advisory committee. KYTC, ODOT, and the Federal Highway Administration will consider the design build team's technical analysis and local agency feedback before making any final decisions about proposed innovations, and the public will be notified of accepted innovations. Once the innovation process is completed, the project will move forward with design, and construction is expected to begin in early 2024. KYTC and ODOT are currently in the process of evaluating the project's effects on the human and natural environment. The project will need to acquire about 51 acres of additional land called right-of-way to build the Brent Spence Bridge Corridor project. In addition, the project will require 4 residents and 27 businesses to relocate. The project may also result in noise impacts and may impact the Goble Park Complex, the Queensgate Playground and Ball Field, the Lewisburg Historic District, and historic Longworth Hall. Potential impacts to wetlands, streams, rivers, floodplains, and threatened and endangered species are also being evaluated by the project team. Short-term traffic, noise, and air quality impacts may also occur while the project is being built, although these impacts would be temporary and would only last until construction is over. KYTC and ODOT have avoided and minimized impacts as much as possible and are developing ways to offset unavoidable impacts. These are called mitigation measures. Some mitigation measures, such as noise walls and improvements to local parks, will be built with the project. Other mitigation measures, such as measures to offset potential impacts to wetlands, streams, and threatened and endangered species, will occur off-site. KYTC and ODOT are developing several project features to provide enhancements to local communities. These include aesthetic treatments, new and improved pedestrian and bicycle connections, additional noise and visual screening walls, separating highway runoff from combined sewers in Kentucky and Ohio to reduce flooding and overflow events, opening up 10 acres of land for potential redevelopment in downtown Cincinnati, and providing increased opportunities for disadvantaged business enterprise participation, on-the-job training, and workforce development in the Progressive Design Build contract. As mentioned earlier, environmental approval for the project was received in 2012. Since that time, regulations and site conditions have changed, and KYTC and ODOT have refined the project's design. In 2022, KYTC and ODOT began preparing updates to the 2012 environmental studies to evaluate potential impacts of the project based on these changes. A supplemental environmental assessment is expected to be available for public review later this year, and public hearings will be held in both Kentucky and Ohio. The Federal Highway Administration's final decision for the environmental process is expected to occur in early 2024. This concludes our presentation. Please take some time to review the exhibits available at tonight's open house public meeting and to talk with members of our project team. For more information or to offer feedback, please visit the project website at BrentSpenceBridgeCorridor.com.
Hey there, John.
Hi, how you doing?
Good evening.
Interesting, isn't it?
Open House Project Update meeting for the Brent Spence Bridge Corridor project. The purpose of tonight's open house public
saw on the website.
Yeah.
Okay.
Travels with John Stephenson, former Superintendent of Education, Commonwealth of Kentucky, and former Deputy Secretary of Transportation and Commissioner Motor Vehicles for the state of Kentucky. Brings you Travels with John and June Guyman Stephenson, a look at the new bridge. Having been around for the building of the first bridge, when Simon Kenton's band came down for the ceremony with former Governor Bert T. Combs, Henry Ward, State Highways Commissioner, in 1963, I believe November. As a young man, I drove Bert T. Combs around the state of Kentucky. Wonderful governor. Later in years, Bert Combs and David Shear and myself formed what was known as Kentuckians for Better Schools, which eventually became KPAC, Kentucky Political Education Committee. And in 1975, KEA presented me with an award as the Outstanding Citizen in the state promoting public education. And that's what I want to do here, is promote what we're doing with this bridge for the good of all the citizens of Greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky, the Golden Triangle, so that we can have growth and development and put together a package that be something to be proud of by all Kentuckians and Americans as the gateway to the South and the gateway to Canada from the South. Are you ready? Are you ready to get the job done? Red, yellow, brown, black, and white. We're all precious in Jesus' sight. God bless you and have a great day. Okay, there now, we're videoing. See it videoing up there?
So you want me to video and do photos at the same time?
At the same time, and then here's how you do the photo. Just push the little button there just like that. And that takes a picture every time you just touch it.
So I'm going to scan.
Huh?
I'm going to just leave it on video and scan all of them and take a picture.
And I have done it up to Columbus. It's exciting for an area. From the south of Texas. So they said that potentially groundbreaking ceremony, but I guess they could have around the years.
And then the small stage.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
She's a sophomore. Oh, God. Those were the good days.
Hi there. Not good?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. I'm doing a man a favor. You want me to take pictures of all of these
I think they'll have them on the internet.
I don't know. This is what he asked me to do.
Well, you're very
Excuse me. I'm supposed to take a picture of this for this gentleman behind you back there. So we just, well, that's crappy. Can you take the old bridge? No. They get away with the ramps, which is good.
A lot of kids think Oh, sorry.
Excuse your elbow real quick. I just need to take a picture of this for a gentleman over sitting down. He gave me a
So I think if you
little
go to
job.
the website, all of these are on the website as well.
Yeah, somebody needs to go tell him that. Hey there.
I just wanted to say hi before I left. Diana was here. Yeah, she said you were here, and I wanted to make sure I said hi.
When we interviewed him downstairs.
Backdrop. What's the secretary behind
This is your exit to get to Kyle's Lane or to Dixie Highway. Yeah. So that's different than today. Today you go Kyle's Lane. This is one.
I didn't get them all, but there's a lot of people standing down there, so I didn't want to push everybody out of the way.
You've done it.
But all of these are on the website.
Yeah, I know.
They're all on the website.
I
so you might want to stop the video.
Oh, okay. Now here we have a citizen that's come to be here this evening, and she happened to do Travels with the Stephensons a big favor by taking some of the slides for me and pictures of the various slides. We certainly appreciate that. And your name, ma'am, is?
Jeannie Trefilio from Covington.
From Covington, and she's interested in finding out where the road goes and where the bridge goes. Well, thank you so much for coming and showing an interest. It's a sign you're a great citizen. And you can see this on Travels with Dr. John Stephenson on YouTube and on Facebook. God bless you. And then you take pictures with this little one down here, a little camera. Get each one if you can.
Okay.
We have the bear. This time around.
All the way through. And then their first chance to get off that interstate system is right here at Carroll.
I told him I was glad to hear that.
You would do what you do today. You go up on the exit flow. No, don't do your turn. Don't do your turn. Go up to the right, make a left turn. Yeah, and then make a left turn.
Things like snail park, it's sanitary view, unplastic lawn, the only place we have left is a public land. The commons go down into the water. It's a big part of the city's history. It's kind of like can you?
All right, hold on.
You're recording.
I am recording for a gentleman down at the end.
So everybody's well intentioned sometimes.
There's 4 lanes going to the collective distributor. There's 13 lanes. They have a better chance of getting
He came to talk to Mayor Chicago, who just left. I just walked in.
Oh, it's the interstate, it's on the interstate. So they merge back together. So that's to keep all that leaving out of the downtown area.
Now, you know, underneath the Pike Street Bridge area, you
Let's turn around. Yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah.
Great area, and then concept and design.
Now we happen to have here Erica Johnson. She was a volunteer that helped me out here today, getting some pictures of the pictures, basically, so I could help you all see what's going on in all the greater Cincinnati, northern Kentucky area about building the new bridge. She does an excellent job. She's working on the project for sort of both sides and doing it all right. And her name is Eric Johnson, right?
Yes.
Now, Eric, how long have you been involved?
I have been involved for 3 years.
About 3 years.
Yes.
And your background is?
My background is I'm a civil engineer. I design highway and transportation projects all over the country, and focusing on the Brent Spence job and cable stay and potentially tight arch bridge construction.
Well, fantastic, and God bless you, and thank you so much for helping out an old man this evening, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you get a chance to take it, our YouTube channel site, it's Travels with Dr. John Stephenson, and you'll see there the smartest move I ever made, which is Miss June Guyman Stephenson.
Well, thank you very much, John. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Pam, nice to meet you too, and God bless you. So it's been crowded the whole afternoon and evening here. I mean crowded too. People are really busy looking at the pictures and watching the videos. Traveled with John Stephenson here, 859-750-0000. Join us on YouTube under Traveled with Dr. John Stephenson, and on Facebook under John Stephenson or John A. Stephenson. Two things are on Facebook. And check us out on www.begottenson.com and or www.godsbiz.com. God bless you and have a great day. Email small j, small s, 750-0000, or if you need to send us tell us give us a call, 859-750-0000. Let us know what you think about the show. God bless you and have a great day.